I'm just gonna grab my cup of tea from downstairs, and then we'll be properly live, I suppose. And I think we're ready. Ooh. Just the sounds of me moving around as an overweight, middle-aged YouTuber. Oh, what have I done with my life? Hi. Oh, no? You're not going to show a video? Apparently not. So, why is this not showing a video? Who knows? It's because it's been deleted. Useful. That is indeed useful. Bear with me 1 second. Do I have... I've got Zin's stream video version 2. It's... Apparently that's also... just a black screen. Is it because it's really zoomed in? Potentially. Let's transform it to screen. Yeah. Planet. See if this is a video that's worth watching or not in the background. It's a background video. We're going to be chatting over it anyway. There's someone else on. All good. Let me lower the volume of the background stuff. Hi. How's everyone doing? You're doing well. Loads of random windows open. Cool. Bam. Easy game. So, hope everyone is doing well. I'm BoredGamer. I'm Tia on a camera. Just talking about some StarEngine stuff and what's been happening over the last few days in my life, I suppose. I've got a bad neck at the moment. A bad back. I broke my diet pretty badly. Went a week of gluttony. I'm back on the diet again. And I'm also looking to the future, because I'm on keto, looking to the future of working carbs and a more of a balanced diet altogether. Because, you know, don't want to be on keto forever. That'd be madness. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. I think I've at least got purpose. I'm bipolar. So happiness is random and fleeting. It's got Chris Roberts' disembodied head there. I'll tell you what, lower this down slightly. Yeah, that's a bit better. I can see more of me. Exodus, thanks very much.
Enjoy the scorching sun, you lazy bum.
No.
Good to see you though, Bored. Hope you're well.
I am doing pretty well, other than my bad neck, I suppose. My pain in my side is largely gone. It's because I think I was having probiotics. Do you think probiotics were causing a bit of issue with like IBS? So you get all the great Star Citizen news you want from me about how my body operates. Number one, okay. Have you seen how pasty I am? Okay, this is not because my camera's bad. I'm pretty pasty. Okay, I'm not going out in the sun. I took a job specifically to do YouTube videos. Yeah, self-imposed job. So I do YouTube videos so I can stay inside more. I've got blackout curtains here, so it's going to shield me from more of those harmful sun's rays. What's the sun ever done for us? Exactly. Not even one thing. But if you'd like to ask a question during the live stream, just question in brackets. Let me pull it out from maybe the masses of questions, but more likely I'll pay attention to it if it's got a question in, so I know that there's a question. And everything else I sort of might ignore. Who knows? Who knows how I feel today? So me and Zin have been tweaking the format of the podcast because we want to do a podcast every week, every 2 weeks, talking about Star Citizen, sort of like hot topics, what's hot in the news, and sort of like more honest, raw opinions about it, sort of how we feel about it. So honest is probably not the right word. Emotional, just dislike. What do we think of this?
I am more emotionally invested in this game than financially invested.
I feel like I'm more emotionally invested than financially invested in this game. Okay. I think I'm both. I'm in it financially and emotionally. I think I'm more financially invested in this game now than I'm emotionally invested, if you also count hours worked on the game, or my YouTube channel, as part of that. Do you know what I mean? I love Star Citizen. I love the project. I love the community. I don't agree with all the decisions they make. I think there's obviously... it's a wild ride sometimes. And they've done a lot of good. It's interesting. It's an interesting one. I love Star Citizen as a project. I think it's fantastic, warts and all. I've done keto for a few years, Bored. It definitely takes willpower to do so. Yeah, I'm not interested in doing keto for years. I want to lose some weight and then try and have a balanced diet. I know that I can do keto. I quite enjoy keto food. So whether that be chicken or steak, and then I can do pine nuts or cheese or something like that as a side to go with it, or just a nice salad. I'm pretty good with that. I don't need carbs in massive quantities. However, I would like some carbs sometimes. I'm okay with cutting sugar out almost entirely from my diet, though. I'm good with that. I'm happy with sweeteners. I think cutting sugar out is probably the best for me. I didn't have much sugar anyway, so. What have we got? What have we got question-wise? Because I want to talk a bit about Alien Week. Alien Week does start later this week. This week in Star Citizen said Friday, Alien Week start. And we've got 2 upcoming Alien Week contests. And there's lots of alien-y things that they're talking about from Thursday onwards. Inside Star Citizen, Alien Cultures, Primer, will be the perfect introduction to the homeworlds and cultures of the Banu, Xi'an, Tavaran, and Vandal. And then on Friday, they are designing a new alien race, a fictional alien race within the Star Citizen universe. So it might be an alien race that's used in the Star Citizen universe, in fiction in the Star Citizen universe. Do you see what I mean? So it might be like, you read about it in a book or like a movie or based on this fictional alien race. Do you see what I mean? That's the sort of thing that could happen from this. It's more just sort of like just a mess around, almost certainly. But, you know, if it's cool enough and people like the idea enough, they can push for that sort of thing very often. I'm expecting Xi'an cargo ship as part of Alien Week. That's what I'm expecting. New concept ship. Do you think that the alien that they're going to design on Friday is actually going to make it into the verse? Or do you think it will be like a joke thing? So I think, as I said, I don't think it will not make it into the verse in any tangible way, but it might be an in-law fictional race. So they might go, this is in the hit show, like a Star Trek type show, or it might be in a book or whatever in game. Do you know what I mean? So not a real race. And I think that's at most what you would get from it. But it's probably just going to be them an exercise in this is sort of like the processes we go through and we're to sort of like contract that down rather than it taking a year. It's going to take an hour. So I bought the Kraken Privateer during Invictus. Should I bother getting a Bounty Merchantman? Probably not. I mean, yes, but get it in game from the profits you make from your Kraken Privateer. Very similar ship roles, although the Bounty Merchantman's going to be much more viable for landing on planets and blockade running and moving around quicker in the verse. One's more of a mobile space station, whereas the other one's more of a mobile market and bazaar. So, do we think the Bounty Merchantman will go up in price again during Alien Week? Now it's officially in production. Oh, good question. Yeah, why not? $100 up in price? Seems reasonable for the Bounty Merchantman. I mean, it's vastly underpriced for Cloud Imperium's standards now. Got to dash off. I love you, Hexters, by the way. Came to let you know you're lazy and to chuck money at you. Appreciated. Those are my two main tenets in life. Be lazy and get money. See you next time. P.S. We need that board champ emote. We can get a board champ. We can get some proper emotes. I'll get Zin to make them. Zin, how do I need to pose for this one? Like, I don't know. What do we got? What do we got here? How different are salvage and repair? Are they two sides of the same coin, or are they wholly separated gameplay loop-wise? That is a really good question. So there are at least some similarities in the first set of salvage and repair we're getting. Okay, so with first tier salvaging that we're getting the ability to hull strip with at least a hand tool. So you strip hulls, but also the stuff that you strip from that goes into a canister, and you can use that to repair as well. So they are, in some senses, two sides of the same coin. However, salvage covers lots of different types of gameplay. Hull stripping, component removal, siphoning, so gases and liquids, and more salvage, so literally the rip and tearing or collection of big chunks of salvage and then the crushing of those into cubes. And obviously a load of those materials will be used in repair as well, but the interesting question is, could the Vulture also be used to do hull stripping repair? So hull repair. Yeah? The opposite of hull stripping. Maybe. What would be an alien ship you'd like to see added to concept? A Tavaran frigate? I quite like Tavaran ships. But I think that Tavaran are going to get the least love of any of the races because they've been entirely subsumed by the UEE pretty much as a race. So the more likely things we'll see are Banu and Xi'an ships. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Xi'an capital ships would be pretty cool to see. For sure. I think we'll probably see some stuff like that in the future. I mean, they talked about in the Squadron 42 report them working on some of the rigs and facials for the Xi'an at the moment. So you might see them walking around in Squadron 42 at some point, or at least on comms. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Morning, board. Hope all is well. What were... That's literally what I just talked about. Scooting ones we're already waiting for. Alien salvage and medical. Yeah. Repair will have gameplay loops on just about all ships that have component wear and tear or damage from overheating or battle. That is true. Salvage is more for ship record. Yeah, but there's certainly some overlap. When will we see Vandal in the Persistent Universe? We have previously seen them in the Persistent Universe. Part of the last Tessa Bannister mission when we had Tessa in the game. Had some Vandal jump in and attack, which was pretty rough. Because you were typically out of your ship when they jump in. I suspect when they update the Vandal ships, they'll have some more Vandal-esque missions. However, standard system is unlikely to see much in the way of Vandal activity. Revenge X Moon, Drake bad, Origin good. That is your opinion, sir. I mean, definitely on the luxury side, Origin good, but on the value side, Drake better. I love most of the manufacturers in Star Citizen, for different reasons. I'm a fire truck. Good job, Matthew Waller. If you identify as a fire truck and have the pronouns Nino, that's cool. You do you, my friend. Question statement. What would you expect or like to see from Alien Fleet Week, or Alien Week? I'm hoping to get a peek at upcoming concept of the Banu Merchantman. Yeah, so ideally, there'll be a little bit of, here's some alien ship updates. Here's the Banu Merchantman, sort of like where it stands at the moment and plans for that. Here's a Xi'an cargo ship. Here's some other concepts of other ships to flesh out the alien races. That would be cool. That's the sort of stuff I'd love to see. I'm not sure if that's what we're going to see. Load of Rubid, Ryan, Shakatuna. Load of Pukin and Stellar Broadcasting. Loads of people here with BoredGamer members that have clicked the join button underneath my videos. Pew, pew, pew. Look at that. Look at that. Thanks very much, guys. Appreciate it. I'm drinking green tea. I'm drinking green tea, then coffee. Madness? Well, I'm FedEx. What? So, I drink... I drink a load of green tea. Green tea with jasmine. Absolutely love it. Because it's sort of like when I feel like I shouldn't be having a tea or a coffee, when I shouldn't really be having much caffeine, and it's my go-to. Very good for you as well, green tea. Would you expect the loaner for the Scorpius to change to the Ares once they're flyable? It makes more sense for it to be the Hurricane, doesn't it? Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry, I've misinterpreted that. So, if you've got an Ares, would you get a loaner as a Scorpius? No. You've got a Scorpius. No, I did understand it correctly. Got a Scorpius. My loaner ship is currently the Hurricane and something else at the moment. My brain has exploded. My brain has imploded. Loaner Matrix. Let's have a look. Matrix. Rather than me just digging some form of Star Citizen-based idiot hole. I was just about to type in X-Wing. Scorpius. So currently, you get a Hurricane and a Super Hornet for the Scorpius. Okay? That's because they want to give you a single-seater ship, even though the Super Hornet is dual-seater. But they want to give you a suitable fighter that you can use single-player for Arena Commander as well. A Hurricane really needs 2 people. But the Scorpius is very like the Hurricane. So at the moment, you get a Hurricane and a Super Hornet as a loaner for the Scorpius. It's possible they'll change to the Ares. However, I think it might just stay as the... Hurricane and the Super Hornet. Oh, but they could... I see. They could go... Well, actually, the Ares... You could get rid of the Hurricane and the Super Hornet and have an Ares. Oh, I see. because you could fly that single-seater. It's possible. It depends on who's looking at the loaner matrix at the time. I suspect they'll go, yeah, that's certainly a possibility. Do you think the last concept art, BMM, being about 2/3 the size of a Kraken is too optimistic? They've made the Banu Merchantman a little bit bigger than it was when we last saw it. That's what I know. We don't have the exact numbers of what it actually is at the moment. I don't think it's going to be... I don't think it's going to be 2/3 the size of a Kraken. Kraken's pretty big. I think it'll be a bit smaller than that. But I don't know. I don't know for sure. Do you recommend the Nomad for a starter or still suggest the Avenger Titan? I prefer the Avenger Titan. I'm not a fan of the Nomad, though. I really like the Avenger Titan. I think it's such a good all-rounder. And then it allows you to specialize in a particular role if you want to do cargo for a bit, cool. If you want to do bounty hunting or combat, you can sort of outfit the ship appropriately. Pico, the curious penguin who loves the cold. If Pico can't do it, nobody can. I'm not sure if that's how I was supposed to say that, Chance, but CIG giving us Corsair when? We don't know. However, have a look. Corsair is on the progress tracker at the moment, isn't it? Which hasn't been pushed off secretly. Course. So the Drake Corsair is being worked on. Let me bring this up for you. With work going into March 2022. So it's possible they'll have that Corsair in the Q1 2022 patch. Possible. Zin is currently working on a lore video about aliens. I'm not exactly 100% sure what she's doing. I basically said, do alien stuff. It's Alien Week soon. Hi, Borden's in. Question: any clue when we might see what we might see next from Speria? I love the town and the Shrike. I want to see a more versatile hull from them in a medium range. I'm not sure what we'll see from Speria next. I think the is it Galak? Is that the new Xi'an human manufacturer that we're thinking is making the Xi'an cargo ship? But I'm not sure what we're going to see next from Speria. Broken Monkey. I mean, I'd love to see something Corvette-sized. Do you think we'll ever get a new Pico plush for the merch store, as the current one is cute as AF, but very squished? Yeah, I'd like a better Pico plush. Question: next Banu ship concept. Straight to flyball. What would you like to see? For Banu. So you could do some interesting stuff with Banu people carriers and stuff, because they're into people trading, shall we say. So they could have one that is literally passenger transport, but also traded person transport as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff you could do with the Banu. Obviously, they've got lots of other trade ships you could do, or multi-role ships, the Banu that sort of would work. You know what I mean? Banu exploration ship would be nice. When do you think Grey Cat Armor is coming? 3.14. I thought it was coming 3.14. Good morning. How's trade been? It was terrible after Fleet Week. So I haven't tried it since Fleet Week ended. I know that there's going to be some additions and some optimizations for 3.14 with a load of the Fleet Week stuff in mind. So trade opportunities, a bit more dynamic in pricing, and the sort of trade alerts. Not really a question, but my husband and I say hello from Australia. We love your stream and your hard work you put in. Thank you very much, BoredGamer. Very much appreciated. Wait, you telling me Banu Merchantman might be bigger than the Kraken? No, it's not. It's not going to be bigger than the Kraken. That would be madness. What will exciting things happen? What exciting things happen? What? Why can't I read this? Anything exciting happening during Alien Week? So at the moment, very limited in what we know about Alien Week. Expect some alien ships to go on sale. There's a couple of competitions. There's a load of stuff starting from Thursday. They're sort of priming what's happening with Alien Week and talking about some of the alien homeworlds and some of the races. They're making an alien race on Friday, which is going to be a fictional race. Won't appear in the game in any tangible way, as far as I'm aware. It's sort of like as a mess around. But then Alien Week starts on Friday, and I'm expecting to see a Xi'an cargo ship go on concept sale. That has not been confirmed, though. Which ship in your fleet is going to host your giant rubber ducky? My 890 jump, of course. It will go in the pool there. Do you think we'll see any other alien ship skins? Oh, that's a really good point, isn't it? Yeah, so I think we'll see skins. I think we'll see alien... I think we'll see skins that are alien-influenced for other ships, and some of the alien ships we've got in the game will get some additional skins, because they make a load of money from selling those aesthetic skins, because people quite like them. Robert Johnston, clearly, Robert Johnston. I just see 100 New Zealand dollars appear in my feed. I recently heard you say you're not a Star Citizen... I recently heard you say you're not a Star Wars fan. I'd like my money back, please. Though, given the rubbish sequels, I can almost forgive you. So, I love you, Robert Johnston. You are a legend. Thank you very much for supporting the channel as much as you do, even if it is to tell me to feck off sometimes. Yeah, so, I'm more into Star Trek than I am Star Wars. I enjoy Star Wars as a universe, but I'm not a massive Star Wars fan. It doesn't sort of like mega excite me in the same way. I mean, to be honest, Star Trek doesn't mega excite me, although I like Star Trek. But mainly the more recent stuff for both I have not super enjoyed. So I think it's largely that. Like TNG and Voyager and stuff like that, I love with Star Trek. Oh, so much. Star Wars, there have been some great films. The original trilogy, absolutely fantastic. But they don't make sci-fi in the same way anymore. It's sort of like a space opera, wasn't it? Space sci-fi opera. So, I mean, I'm more into what I'd like to see. Actually, I quite enjoy Expanse. I haven't watched more than the first 2 seasons though at the moment. I'd like to see stuff like SCP. I love SCP stuff. What else would I like to see as a series, sort of sci-fi or fictional series stuff. Really enjoying Love, Death and Robots. I like those little mini stories they do. I like that. I like that sort of stuff. But I will watch sort of like a bit of all sci-fi. Do you think Space Whales are going to be in 3.14? No, you're not going to see animals, Space Whale animals in 3.14. But you will see, almost certainly, a Space Whale statue, Space Whale plush, and a little sort of like Space Whale costume. How do you manage the new capacitors? Do you think it will make killing bounties really hard and drawn out? Hope you're well. So, what Cloud Imperium have been working towards is equal skill pilots in similar ships. They want dogfighting with a that sort of ship and those sort of conditions to take around 2 minutes. 2 minutes of gameplay. That's what they sort of want to balance towards at the moment. Capacity gameplay, I am not entirely sure how it's all going to work out yet. I don't think anyone beyond CID, QA, and the people that are testing it know exactly the extent of it. It is supposed to have capacitor power that you can allocate to different systems for a boost of power and assumedly efficiency and effectiveness in certain systems, so shields and engines and things like that. But also they said that energy weapons will make use of capacitors, and they'll need capacitors to actually be able to fire the weapons. So I'm not sure if capacitors operate as part of the component or as an additional component or relay that it goes through. So does my ship have a capacitor, or does the component have a capacitor, or are there multiple capacitors that some systems can make use of? I'm not entirely sure yet. So it's an interesting one. But massive combat changes, apparently, with that capacitor gameplay, and missile operator mode, and missile changes, and scanning and radar changes. So huge changes in 3.14. I hope they are good. I hope they are not bad. Because it could leave combat in a great place in 3.14, or it could be in a terrible place in 3.14. We don't know. Turbulent moving to focus primarily on server meshing. That's not entirely true. So Turbulent and the new Turbulent head of studio. So some are Turbulent working on server meshing and some of that back-end stuff. But also some of them are working on, and this is the other major focus, gameplay area, which is connected to server meshing, sort of, and the star map. And I suspect that we will see first stage server meshing in our hands probably middle of next year, but probably we'll see it at CitizenCon this year. We'll actually see it being tested. Do you think they will change the shape of the Banning Merchantman to make it fit in hangars, as currently it's 160 meters wide? Docking collars. They can do it with docking collars. Do you miss Caged Geek? Yeah, I do miss him. So I saw him at CitizenCon 2019. That was the last time I've seen Caged Geek. I should drop him a message at some point. He's a genuinely good chap, I believe. He bought me, when I saw him, I was going to buy him a drink, but he bought me a load of food. Like, nah. Let me buy you lunch. And then we watched the presentation on the Xi'an cargo ship and the mobile refinery and the ships that became the Rock and that sort of jazz. Well, Johnson, do you send me some more money? You're a monster. Why have you sent me more money? What's he done? Why have you done this? Question, will your graphics card arrive before the 4000 series announced? Probably not. So, I'll tell you what. I got a message, an update, yeah, saying they update you like, oh, we got loads of graphics cards coming in, but it's not the ones you want. Oh, we got 20 of your graphics card coming in, yeah. And they should start going out to people that bought them ages ago if we haven't got any RMAs for them. They hadn't said that for any of the updates for the other graphics cards they had coming in, other than my one. I was thinking, either my graphics card, the one I bought, which was the Eagle C, I think, has a really high defect rate, or they're just bullshitting me more. And once I get my graphics card from them, or it's cancelled or whatever, I will do a video on my experiences with that, because I want to sort of call out some of the what I would deem shitty behaviour of a couple of the companies that I bought from during the silicon shortage. My GPU and CPU from different places. I only got my new CPU like 5 weeks ago, and that had been a 6 or 7 month wait. It's like 6 month wait, I think, maybe. Maybe longer than that, actually. My GPU's still not here. And I bought my it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Someone has reached out to me, and I will be giving them a proper big shout out, because they've offered to be able to more easily help us out with getting a couple of 3080s for me and Zin. Because I want a 3080 for me, I want a 3080 for Zin. What do we got? Do you think that ships like the Retaliator will be able to support a single mother of all bombs? I like the A2, but sometimes you need that smaller ship to get the job done. I'm expecting the Retaliator to be able to have bombs as an option, whether that's modular or whether that's just switches out his torps. That would be my expectation. I mean, they are working on Retaliator modularity for 3.15, which is where bombs are turning up, I believe. The roadmap lists a map update to be finished by the end of June. Do you think we'll see update or rework of the in-game map pushed to the live servers? I'd expect it more to be in 3.15 if that's something that we'll see. We might see some updates and optimizations, though. How do you think gunships like the Hammerhead will suffer at the start from capacitive gameplay? It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Like, it depends on how lasers and laser repeaters are affected. Like, is the Hammerhead now going to want to run ballistics? Like, that would be odd. Well, maybe it wouldn't be odd. It's a really interesting one. Like, we don't really know what sort of major impacts it's going to have. With the Hammerhead is having to think about how it fires, that's going to be an interesting one, isn't it? How long does it usually take for subscriber flare to show up after you subscribed? So they do 2 allocations. They do if you're already a subscriber, it's allocated this period, and if you join by this period, then it's allocated by this period. So 72 hours, sort of typically. Yes, but do you think it will support a Moab? Okay, I see what you mean, Jeff. I would like to think it would. I would like to think it will have a modular choice in the future to support a Moab. Do you think CIG will... It's quite possible as well, though, that they'll want to keep the Moab the A2. Do you know what I mean? So, like, well... You know that it's a Flying Fortress of Doom with a Moab. So, maybe not, but maybe something pretty big. Yeah? Do you think that CIG will do something with the servers when they add the new landing zone? I'm pretty sure it will kill the servers. I don't think so. I think that the object container streaming system handles multiple areas pretty well. The issue with the new landing zone, in my opinion, may be the long viewing distance and new cloud tech. Because typically, especially when new landing zones go live, they do destroy your own frame rates. And they sort of optimize this reasonably well in the P2 phase. But there's obviously still huge frame rate problems even today. Robert Johnston, in with more money. Do you think, on paper, the Scorpion is, or Scorpius, is really the most powerful ship that will fit in the Polaris? Not necessarily. It literally depends on the purpose of what you want in the ship. Like, I really love the Saber. If the Saber will fit, I think the Saber will fit, although I'm not sure now, thinking about it. I love the Saber. I'm a big Saber fan. Scorpius is obviously a very powerful 2-seater ship. I mean, if you want something for more explorational purposes, maybe a Terrapin might be a good shout. Terrapin will probably fit in the Polaris, maybe? I can't remember what will fit in the Polaris now. It's because we don't have the Polaris in the game. What's the latest info for progress on server meshing? Server mesh is being worked on now. Everything's being made with it in mind. There's a greater sort of thing that iCache and all that sort of stuff's gone into now, which is persistent streaming and server meshing. And it looks like we'll probably see some updates to server meshing in at CitizenCon, probably. And I think we'll get the first stage of server meshing in middle of next year. Any insight as to what the new scanning will bring? So, scanning, when it comes to what we're getting in the near future, scanning blobs are going to change. So you scan, boop, ping out. You might detect something immediately if it's strong enough signal, or you'll get a scan blob and you'll be able to find out more details and scan deeper, sort of see the deeper signatures within that scan blob. So you'll go, actually, I can tell that there's high amounts of IR signatures and that sort of stuff here. So it'll give you more deeper information, so you can roughly work out, is it minables, is it ships, is it a mixture of the two, is it scrap? Obviously, it's all tied to also the new radar system, which passively detects and that sort of stuff as well. Hi, Bored. I was watching your video with Zin yesterday, where you talk about the Taurus. What made you guys think that CIG may have removed the struts and update the rest of the conics? So they talked about it. CIG said that they may be looking at the struts again in the future. And obviously, a lot of people love what they've done with the, the interdiction ship. I can't remember the name of it for some reason. What's the name of the ship? Oh my god, my brain's gone. What? I'm struggling. Is it Mantis? The Mantis. Mantis? Mantis. Mantis? Mantis? Mantis. Yeah, it is, Jim Bob. It's the Mantis I'm thinking of. Oh my god. I kept on thinking it was, for some reason, my brain went, Black Widow. I was like, no, it's not. I think I did a video about the Mantis or the Black Widow when we didn't know what the ship was, when it was just a silhouette. Wow, that was weird. My brain was stuck in a loop. Yeah, I'd love to see like a Tavaran Corvette or something. But the same with the Xi'an and same with the brand new alien Corvettes. Money kisses to you, Jericho Pliskin. Thank you very much. I appreciate the money kisses. Salvage. Endeavour has the ability with the Super Collider to upgrade potential salvage components. Oh, or just components in general. So the idea of the Super Collider is sort of like to tweak components, and there's risk to the component, but you can tweak it to be more effective, or weapons and things like that. Although we don't know the exact mechanics of it yet. Wumtaka. Thanks for the bits. That's what I'm trying to say. Do you see any other ship being able to do that? Salvage, upgrading, selling. Workbenches might allow to do it on a smaller scale, and there might be modular ships with modules that might be able to do it on a smaller scale for smaller components. I think the Super Collider is supposed to be one of the top tier ways of doing it. It's one of the Endeavour modules. Endeavour being a hugely modular ship with a huge amount of science and interesting overclocking type gameplay that is going to take a while for them to flesh out. Off to bed now. Keep the noise down, please. Good night. P.S. Remove the filter stopping me from saying F off. Maybe. I will whitelist you. I will whitelist you, Robert Johnston. Because I love you. You're the best. Thank you very much, sir. Very much appreciated. So I know it's very far from ever being plausible, but how cool would it be if they did Halo? Hope you're a fan. Crossover. I think certain ships would fit great in Star Citizen. I love Halo. I love the remakes as well. I've been playing them co-op, for the most part. There'll be little nods to lots of sci-fi, including Halo. Hey, I just moved to Winslow. When I see IG doing tours again, we should meet up and grab a drink. I agree, Christian. I will contact Tyler, or Tyler's probably in charge of... He was my contact last time. I'll give them a poke and see when is it viable for me to come on a tour again. And then I'll arrange a bar citizen at the same time. Probably be between mid-July and end of September. Probably around there, most likely. Maybe. Winslow seems like quite a nice place. I'll drop you a message if I ever go up, because I've got other friends up. I've got a load of friends up in Winslow now. If I ever go up and see people. Anyway, mate, no worries. Or I announce it on social media or something. Feel free to contact me or pick me on Discord. Does Alien Week involve ship sales? They've sold ships in the past, not huge amounts, but yes, I would expect it to involve ship sales a lot more this year. Connie Taurus hardpoints say it has 5 size 4 guns, but in the comparison it shows 4x4. Any info on what's right or updated? No. So you have to wait a little bit longer before we actually see the true stats of the Connie Taurus that's in our hands. It is supposed to be a slightly stripped down constellation. It's going to have a little bit more cargo, but it does lose a turret, what is it supposed to. On the progress tracker, I see ship CPU is scheduled to end Q1 2021. I do expect to see ship blades added to the release view for Q1 2021. So they are working on ship blades and these sort of modular AI semi-automation parts of your ship, which is almost certainly going to be the first type of automation and AI that we get for our ships. So we go, we can have an AI that automatically fires countermeasures or controls a turret in a slightly more derpy fashion. And we know that they've been working on that because they used that for the Bengal. They went, actually, we need to start pushing these AI modules because they are lightweight AI, which allow loads of turrets to track potentially individual targets or to work together or both, and actually fire without causing your computer or the server to implode. So expect to see lots of different AI blades, and not all of them to come at once. And then probably certain ships to get phased in with them before others as well. So AI turrets, slaving turrets forward. That would probably be the first couple of so AI firing turrets and AI and slaving turrets. It will probably be the first couple of AI blades that we get. Would be my expectation. Can you swap Chris over your shoulder for other devs at times to change it up a little? Maybe Jared. Potentially. Maybe my own head as well. Let's switch it up. Including concept ships, what is the smallest, fastest ship that has one of every room, including a med bay? Carrack? I think the Carrack is the closest to that. You think they might sneak some server updates into the patch because I'm pretty sure Orison is going to melt. So I don't think so. I think it might melt clients. I'm not sure if it's going to melt servers. Do you feel physical damage will come in first before salvage? No. The physical damage system is a little bit different. But the HUD stripping can come in. They're planning to have it in this year for 3.16 at the moment. So. I like the arguments in Origin and Drake in the chat. I've got quite a bad neck at the moment. Is the rubber ducky in the B-roll going on sale on any week? No, I do not believe so. It was just to show off buoyancy. Water has buoyancy. And they're building boats. Or at least aquatic stuff. Starbase, the game, starts on the 17th. Are you going to do vids for it? I will check it out. That's what I can tell you. Oh. Starbase is a massively multiplayer game with gameplay focused on building and designing spaceships, stations, exploration, resource gathering, trading, crafting, and combat. I'll check it out. I definitely will check it out. Yeah. I'll have a look. I can force Zin to play games as well because it's part of her job. I go, Zin, play some games with me. And I go, okay, what are we playing? Star Citizen. Oh god, no. But yes, actually going back to server updates, expect server updates in 3.14 as well. General optimizations. When will we see player swimming in game? It's been off the roadmap for now. It's weird, isn't it? Like, they wanted to have it in, and they sort of pushed it back for force reactions and a few other stuff. They want to have prone and a ladder gameplay in first before swimming. And they pushed that back as well. So, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much, Sketch Therapy. I'm doing well. Yeah, I've got a bit of a bad neck at the moment. My dad's suffering from pretty bad toothache. It's giving him a migraine, and they need to do some surgery for that. But the hospital are now saying, or the dentist or whatever, that it will be a few months before it can get done, but it's pretty rough. So I was looking at the moment to see if we can get it done privately. I have an M2 and Corsair. What would be a good daily ship? You might be able to get away with your Corsair, to be honest. Or grabbing yourself a Cutlass Black. Do we know which Vandal ships will be made available for us players? So Asperia will transition some of them over to having human cockpits. So at the moment, that's the Blade, the Glaive, and the Scythe. And beyond that, we don't know. When do you think we'll start seeing the first steps towards player homesteads? Well, so there's some stuff that's coming in this year that is actually steps towards that. Local inventory, that is a big step towards that. And CIG are working on the colonial outposts and homesteads and bases, sort of like the colonial outpost stuff, which has been renamed now, is the big step towards that because they want to have customizable rooms and habs as part of that. To some extent, or at least pushing towards that. What happened to the helium on Microtech? I can no longer make short hauling runs there. I don't know about individual commodities. It changes around. Expect a big economy overhaul for 3.14. Maybe, oh, at least some of one. Do you think we'll get some alien handheld weapons someday? Yes. Yeah. I mean, we're about to use Vandal Spears and stuff, I suspect. Yeah. I would assume we'd be able to use all the alien weapons, and there'll be a good amount of them. Other thing is, something... if anyone's got any games that are great to play co-op in groups of, like, 6... So we've played Eco, Conan Exiles, and Ars of Sipta, although Ars of Sipta isn't as good. It's more for the co-op experience we want. Valheim. We're looking for games like that. Anyone's got any suggestions? I'd love to hear them. My question is, why capacitor gameplay? Who is asking for it? CIG just want to sort of balance and make combat more meaningful and more decisions sort of as part of it. When are we going to be able to get overland mobs on planets? Have roaming creatures and roaming enemies across the planets have been talked about recently. So they are literally, and you'll see in my video later today, when it talks about AI, they're literally been building out the AI and behaviors for animals and NPCs moving around the tops of planets and on outposts. So they're building it now. They're literally doing that. Don't know the timeline for when it's going to be in game, but I would expect to see NPCs defending outposts pretty soon. Baba Yaga, thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks for the donation, you star. Oh, legend. Hope you're doing well, Baba Yaga. Thanks very much. Have the shields and damage on the Mercury Star Runner gotten any better, or does the pilot gun still malfunction after the first salvo from the enemy? I don't think all the stuff blows off. It's easy anymore. Oh. When are we going to get... so we literally talked about that. Do you think they'll make the Banner Merchantman a capital class ship? No, I think it's going to be large. I think it's going to have large components. And it depends on how you define capital ships. Because obviously, ship of war, capital ship in the sort of navy. But in Star Citizen, it could be if they have capital class components or if they're of a certain size. But I suppose, yeah, Banner Merchantmen are supposed to be used in wartime because one of the ideas of the Banner is that they can bring all of their ships to bear to fight. And my question is what, and that's what we literally talked about a minute ago. What type of scanning do you think we'll see? I hope it will be the same sort of like on an Eve. Yeah, so I do think we'll see some Eve type scanning of long range scans. Because long range scanning is probably going to be a thing for finding sort of like points of interest. But obviously you've seen a reasonable amount of mid-range, short-range scanning in Star Citizen already. We know there's updates to that. But I'd love to see long-range scans and information and yeah, long-range scanning to a little mini-game with it to find points that you can jump to would be pretty cool. My thoughts on Platinum Banner Defender leaked skin? Yeah, cool. I'm up for more skins for alien ships. Do you have any thoughts on where the S7 weapons, like those on the Ares and Perseus, might end up gameplay-wise? Like the Ares might be very strong fighter or three-person, Perseus out DPSing the Hammerhead. It's going to be different things for different purposes, different uses. So, the Ares is going to be very strong as, well, the Ion as a sniper ship and a support ship, and the Inferno very awesome to use with sort of wings of fighters that can defend it, because it's not going to be agile enough to like light fighters will probably rip it apart. Do you know what I mean? How far out do you think physicalized damage is? That's a good question. I don't know. I know they're working on it. Physical components and physicalized damage I expect to come in similar times. I'd expect full implementations by the end of next year. Hopefully we'll see some of this phased in towards the end of this year, maybe. Do you think we'll be able to... Do you think we will be the Vulture release with 3.16? Rex, sorry, that's blown my mind. I can't read. Do you think we'll see the release of the Vulture with salvage in 3.16? I think it's a possibility now. Will we ever have houses and cars to keep our stuff in and get around it in the city like Luke Skull or his speeder? So they do want to have roads in the game. To some extent, they obviously will be seeing some river tech as well and things like that as well, which we might use similar stuff. There's going to be bases. Could there be... and there's ground vehicles and there's going to be personal inventory. Will we have the ability to travel from Area 18 to another area on the ground? Maybe. Most of that stuff I think would be easier just to do via space or shuttle bus. Floaty. So... You broke trading and why? I know, right? When are we getting the Invictus jacket? Is it the 17th of this month? 12th of this month? Some point in June. It's getting allocated to our accounts. Out of the alien ships, which do you think is the most likely to have a heavy fighter to rival the Vanguard? The Xi'an, probably. But I'd like to see it from the Tavaran. Do you think CIG will add dual throttle support? Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you very much, Jeff Jordan. Appreciate the bits. Thank you. F8 Lightning fits in the Polaris. Does it now? Well, that will probably be the most powerful heavy fighter you can put in that. Hey, Board, when was the last time you heard anything from CIG regarding NPC crew and AI terrorists? We talked about that a bit earlier. I'm expecting to see AI blades. Obviously, they talked about it in the recent Inside Star Citizen with the Bengal. They've literally been working on AI modules for that, which will be part of the, or at least our steps towards the AI blades. Do you think there will be new war bonds for Alien Week? But they're not at war. UE aren't at war at the moment, are they? Well. How do you know Alien Week's in a few days? We know it starts on Friday because it was in this week in Star Citizen. Yeah, I'm hoping that we see some of the updates to the Vandal ship rework. And like it's, I want to see them. I want to see the new Vandal blade and glaive, not blade, scythe and glaive in Vandal Swarm. It'd make me play Vandal Swarm for in 3 months. Should the rest of the Connie line follow the styling of the Mantis? Mantis? I would like that. But, I mean, all I really require... So, I was talking about it with Zin in yesterday's podcast. Constellation Taurus is probably going to look very cool and look a reasonable bit better than the rest of the constellations. So, they probably need to update the rest of the constellations. That's their current thinking. With ships being able to hover effortlessly at all angles just feet below the ground, why do their tanks have treads? What? Ships won't be floating effortlessly in some planets. Jacob Gillot. How's it going? I'm doing fine, thanks. Thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated, sir. Couldn't say your name. I'm bad with names. What else have we got here? Boop, boop, boop. Where is and what is happening with the tally room modules? They have been pushed back to 3.15. Do you think the Aquila should be like the Phoenix, having a main deck front to back so it can have space for the med bay, science labs, drones, rooms? I'm quite happy with how the Aquila and the Phoenix are at the moment, other than general sort of materials updates and a little tiny bit of remodeling work is all I think that they need. Do you think if they add the AI blades, if the AI gets a kill, it'll count towards bounties? Yeah, I think it will. You'll technically be controlling it. You'll be the pilot. Turns out my AI is richer than me on my ship. Do you think we'll be able to hunt wild animals and eat them as a culinary dish? I hope so. I hope that big game hunting's a thing. I hope that gourmet nom-noms is a thing. With another trade ship coming into play, might we expect a better trade update in 3.14? Yes. Or are they just waiting for Quanta? I mean, they're definitely not waiting for Quanta to do general economic and tweaked economy stuff and better trade and better cargo things. But yes, there's obviously... It is a big difference when Quanta and the Dynamic Universe sim comes in. It's going to be huge. Where is and what has happened? Oh, I lost my place. Ba-ba-ba. What else we got here? I love you, Jay, by the way. Thanks for doing mod work. You're the best. I didn't see... I just saw someone had some messages deleted. You're pretty good at, typically at being super reasonable, so thank you very much. I have no idea what they said. I'll check it in the logs later. Where is what is happening with the? That's what I literally talked about. Talked about that. Talked about that. Why don't you play Ark? Loads of people gathering and base building and PvP if you want it. Probably the biggest building survival game. I'm not a fan of Ark. I've tried playing Ark, but it might be the group of friends that I play with. So the last couple of times I tried to play Ark, and I was just talking to one of my mates that I tried to play Ark with earlier today, and I literally said, look, I know Ark has got a reasonable amount to it, and he was like, yeah, it's a bit of a hodgepodge of lots of stuff going on now. And okay. Thank you very much, Elfwin, for the sub. Very much appreciated, sir. You star. Love your face. But I don't enjoy playing it with you because you know how to do everything and just do it. I want to play a game where we're learning and we're all able to contribute and it be cooperative. And you want to, I want to play it with you and you want to play it with me. Not, and I just find that some of those guys that I play Ark with or would play Ark with, I don't want to play it with them. And it doesn't hold as much interest to me as it did, like, as Eco, Conan, and Valheim did. Oh, thank you very much, William Halgus. Thank you very much for becoming a BoredGamer member by clicking that join button under my videos. Appreciated. And trying to push that at the moment. You are a star and a legend, sir. Thank you, thank you. But I'm looking for other games for sure to play. Where'd you put on the cutlass? Wherever you damn please. Got cutlass red, you can have a poo. Do we know a time frame on when we'll see Theatres of War in the PTU? I'm expecting it as part of the 3.14 cycle. Reef, glad to hear you're well, and I was a bit worried when you told us you had a pain that came back. Occasionally I have a slight pain in my lower right abdomen, almost certainly IBS. It is very minor, but it just keeps on coming back and going, and it's completely gone now. No other symptoms other than I'm a bit tired sometimes, but not exhausted or anything. It's a bit tired. I do go to bed at like 3 a.m. and get up at like 8 a.m. So I have minimal amounts of sleep. I do nap during the day though. Wouldn't Vulkan integration be crucial to adding more into the game like Crusader? It's crucial to having the game in a polished and reasonable state for a range of computers. It allows them to have a huge amount more scalability in what they do, having their Gen 12 renderer in Vulkan, because then they have their own proper graphics side stuff for their engine sorted, and then they can optimize that, and they can have proper graphics options, and they can have a nice hardware neutral approach, and then go, actually, now we know what sort of resource budget we can have and what scale we can have that at. So it is crucial. I mean, there's so many things that... Isn't this crucial to Star Citizen? Yeah. Most of the stuff they've talked about, whether it be gameplay loops, features, or core, or engine, is crucial to having in the game at some point before it's released. So assuming they throw this cargo ship, what do you think it's going to rival in terms of cargo hauling? So I think it's going to be between... Originally, they sort of like said 300 cargo units, Freelancer Max, Hull B sort of thing. I think it's going to sort of rival Mercury Starrunner with my sort of expectation, but more for cargo and for more specific types of cargo. It's going to have shit and thrusters, isn't it, and stuff like that. So. Listen, Maxwell, I've seen that you are disenfranchised with the game and the community, which is fine. You are allowed to hold that view, sir. But sometimes it feels like you may be attacking and being sort of uncivil towards community members with statements like, I swear people in the Star Citizen community lie to themselves more than any other, haha. So that sort of stuff. I mean, you're entitled to that view. It pushes towards being uncivil. So just bear that in mind. That's probably why you got your. That's probably why you got moderated out and sort of like temporary banned. Bear that in mind. People are more than welcome to have dissenting opinions about the game. People are more than welcome not to like certain areas of the game and to ask questions. What is your opinion on CIG slow process to add animations in game? I'm a mocap specialist, and all animations would be done by now if they worked like we do. I thought that CIG are quite slow at it. That is a maybe. So they obviously got a huge amount of mocap they had originally for Squadron 42. I feel that what they do is they have this sort of approach from mocap is we're going to add some new features and animations for these guys. Oh, what do we need now? We need this. And then they book mocap appointment and get mocap done. And they've got obviously access to some quite big mocap studios, but they have their own mocap rigs as well. So it's not that it's necessarily slow, it's that it's done as and when needed. And those needs keep on changing. Though Patrick, I'm more than willing to, if you've got some more specifics, you're like, well, actually, you should be doing it like this or like that. I'm not a mocap specialist, so you might have something more specific that you meant. Do you expect a character reset with 3.14? Not as far as I'm aware, but they could always do one if they need to. But I wouldn't expect a persistent database reset, is what you're talking about. Character reset, yes, they always reset characters, and you have to recreate your character very quickly in the character creation thing. But a persistent database reset, which is your assets and ships and items, probably not. They probably won't wipe that in 3.14. Do you think CIG has opened a can of worms by supporting Pride this month, going against their previous policy of no politics in game? Look, I don't want to answer this question because I don't want to bring politics into my channel. However, they haven't done this huge push that's in my face about anything. They've very much gone, as part of this month's competition, show your colours as a show us a picture. Cool. Yeah, whatever. I am happy to respect almost everyone's. Well, no, respect. I will allow for all opinions, or most opinions, and thoughts. I'm pretty chill, I think reasonable guy. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to have stupid ideas exposed. You go, that's a stupid idea. How do I know about that stupid idea? Because you talked about it. It's good. So, I don't really want to bring too much politics into the channel ever, because I cover a game. If CIG ever became political, I'd cover it as part of the news, like, this is a bit weird, or whatever, but you know what I mean? Make a game. That's what I care about. Can we hire alien NPC crew or companions in the future? Yes. That is supposed to be a thing in the future. When they add... it'll be a while out. We'll get AI blades and stuff well before that, in my opinion. When they add armor, do you think sniping the pilot will be a thing? I think that sometimes you will be able to get a lucky hit on the pilot and injure them or kill them. There will be some penetration with the physical damage system. You're right, Sin. The Banu don't really have a military. So all the ships, the idea is that all their ships can be brought to bear on targets. They sort of like then go, the Banu merchantmen and the defenders and all that sort of stuff all sort of turn up. They work together. When we get AI crew, won't they take part of the crest reward from bounties, etc.? No. Well, they might, but I would expect you to pay them. You pay them. And then you get all the money from all the quests you do. Considering its size and popularity, what do you think the final price of the Banu merchant will be? I wouldn't be surprised if it landed around $600. Yeah, $750. I was actually thinking a while ago. CIG have, other than 2 adverts shied away from having kids in game. They don't want different body sizes because that requires them to somehow balance them, which they don't want to do. Although there is a male model and female model. What do you know about base building and what we'll be able to do with base building? We don't entirely know yet. They basically said base building is going to be more expansive now than just outposts. They made the Pioneer into more of a mobile factory, able to do lots of different things for base building, and then just build outposts now. And they're going to be a big part of the game. The Nova tank is 300 years old in lore, but still in service because of its effectiveness. I like main battle tanks. Jesus, so many questions today. I'm sorry, Jeff. There was a load of questions. From what Tony says, he said about iCache being nearly done, does that mean it's all in game or waiting for a near future patch? So, iCache and everything being built in game feature wise has iCache in mind. Yeah. So, and there's loads of features that are coming in and will come in, like server meshing and persistent streaming stuff and all this sort of thing that they need iCache for. So, iCache itself just sits in a layer in between sort of like the server and the client and allows for faster database queries. So that will allow for much more going on in the game and for stuff to react much better for the quantum simulation and a load of other stuff, yeah? And just make everything a bit more stable, optimized, and recoverable. So server goes down, well actually, a huge amount of this is stored immediately in the iCache and can actually be regenerated, or you can just move on to another server. You're not going to lose your ships anymore. You might even not know that your server crashed. That's a sort of thing we're getting. I haven't fixed the mic. What I have put on is a high quality noise filter, which seems to do God's work. So, as far as I'm aware, iCache, although nearly finished with the implementation they want, it's then a load of other systems are making use of it, coming in. Do you see what I mean? How much do you think the Talon's going to sell in game for? I don't. Isn't the Talon available in game already? Hasn't ever considered auditioning for Star Citizen? I think she has a wonderful voice. Oh, Cobalt Archie, you're so wrong. No. No, she hasn't. Because she works for me! She doesn't need another job. Don't you tell my employees they're worth more? Don't you tell them they can get better opportunities elsewhere? I'll have to tear them back down. Do you think I'll be able to squeeze my Polaris on my Kraken's landing pads? No. Well, sort of. Not properly. Do you think 3.14 will come out? And when do I think it will come out on the PU? So expect probably Eva Carty next week. And then a couple of weeks, last week of June, first wave PTU. Does the Taurus lose the Merlin as well? I think it has the ability to put the Merlin in. It doesn't come with one as standard. I can't remember. Do you think once iCache is in game, we would see more done towards ships and recreation areas, like roofable fridges, water dispensers and such? I mean, after iCache, yes. I suppose it needs iCache to have that sort of stuff. They need to write more systems for that to have those sort of props and those items in game. But you will start to see things like that, I would expect, because they want that for the cargo system as well. Having cargo containers you can open up and take things out of. But think of that more towards probably the sort of physicalized inventory system that they want. If I remember correctly, the quantum travel effect will be related to the quantum travel drive and not the ship. Is that correct? Okay. Partly that, yes, but also they wanted alien ships, I suppose, because they have alien drives, to have their own sort of feel as well. How far away do you think we are from getting a new system with all moons and planets every quarter? 4 systems a year, 100 systems, 25 years to complete at that rate. So I think next year that Turbulent will come into their stride with getting a few systems out a year potentially. Star Citizen doesn't need to release with like more than a couple of dozen systems, and then they can keep on adding more. They've got 100, 110 planned. I appreciate all the love. Thank you, thank you. Board, how many ships do you think they'll have to remake? So that all ships will get some forms of updates for either physicalized components, materials updates, lighting updates, and passes in general. Very few will be entirely remade, if at all anymore. There are a bunch of the Who is the Murderer style games. So Zin especially does not like Betrayer and hidden role type games. I've given up the PC to my wife. Have a great stream and a great day. Thanks for the stream. Asnort, I'm sorry that you've been pushed off your PC. After Squadron 42 comes out, do you reckon all of the stars for the game assets will be finalized and all of Squadron 42 assets like javelins will be released? So they need to make the civilian versions and they need to do some stuff to have them in the persistent universe as well. But soon after, yes. Roughly when did the Alien Week start? Friday. You might see some stuff starting Thursday because of the Inside Star Citizen and the potential for a concierge/subscriber sale for the Xi'an cargo ship, maybe, if that's what they're doing. Do you think that we'll see collaborations with other sci-fi universes like No Man's Sky did? I don't know. I don't know. How do you feel about Brexit? Wow. Since probably buried, what are your thoughts on the possibilities of Alien Tonk? Without Zin, you'd be sad gamer. Aww. Well, fortunately, I do. Well, I mean, Zin causes me much stress, and I cause her much stress as well. Yeah, we'll see some alien ground vehicles, alien combat ground vehicles for sure in the future. You should do an ASMR stream. Little alien sounds that I like to in the background. Have you experienced any issues since they did some maintenance yesterday? I have not played Star Citizen since the maintenance. Will they be selling the Banner Merchantman? I'm expecting the Banner Merchantman to be on sale during Alien Week. Would you recommend the C2 or Banner Merchantman? Depends what you want to do. If you want to carry ground vehicles, the C2. If you want to do a floating trade and cargo ship, probably the Banner Merchantman. So you don't think that all the ships will be brought up to their gold standard? Yes, I do think all the ships will be brought up to their gold standard eventually. Who's your favourite Star Wars character? The Rancor, yeah. Depends. You solo, UCT, you got friends, Banner Merchantman? Yeah, indeed. Depends on what you want the ship for. I am going to quickly bio, and then I'll be back. And we'll continue. Just taking a couple of painkillers for my neck. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to stream for, because I am in a reasonable amount of pain, but the chair is actually pretty good. Cricket can't everyone get political. Once Sol's in the game, do you think they will put a little Easter egg on the moon tied to the moon landing? I hope so. Genuinely. That I'm looking forward to the silly Easter eggs that they will put in game. Have you tried the Bannerlord multiplayer mod? So Cam loves Bannerlord. I have not played Bannerlord for ages. Do you think the Banner Merchantman's price will increase this Alien Week sale? Yes, I do. Hi, can I get a pew pew? Pew pew! Yes, you can. When do you think we'll see the Titan suit? So we've been waiting for the Titan suit for ages. I don't know. I don't know. I've been expecting it for many years. You don't even have to respect people's opinions on my channel. You just have to remain civil. That's it. That's all I ask. Remain civil. If you're talking about someone else, whatever, just be civil. Will the Xi'an cargo be sold to the Chairman's Club 24 hours before? I would expect so. But if that's indeed what we're getting for Alien Week. Well, usually just to name this project, Watch Dogs did... okay, Patches. So this is about the mocap again. Well, usually just to name this project, Watch Dogs did a lot of crowd navigation shoots. We did crunch for around 90 days of mocap shoots. And for this, it covered all types of animations. Okay. Yeah, I think it's CIG have got sort of like this erratic practice of going, oh, we're working on this stuff now. Okay, what do we need? We'll do this. Oh, and we need a couple more of these. And like a month later, they're like, okay, we need someone else to come in and do these mocaps as well. So it's they're not great at knowing their needs for mocap. Like, do you know what I mean? They'll need to get a little extra couple of mocap scenes and things like that. You're right. Watch Dogs is the shit. I'm assuming you mean that in a good way. You're right, Sarge, mate. You're doing well. I love the fact you have your own emote. And you spam it. Good man. Why not? I have yet to play Watch Dogs 2. Maybe we'll check it out then. Maybe we'll check out some Watch Dogs 2. Okay. Some other people have recommended Watch Dogs 2 to me as well. Hope you're doing well, Sarge, sir. Sarge, giant supporter of the channel and good chap. Oh, we need to organise talking to you at some point. Actually, I'll talk to Zin and I'll drop you a message. With Shadow doubling in price, have you looked into the Plutosphere? Okay, so I'm talking to Shadow later this week. So I'll be talking to them and finding out what's going on with Shadow and any form of shilling that I might do for them, because I do love their service. And I'm glad that they're now stable and all that sort of stuff, so I'm going to find out stuff. So Plutosphere, I will look into at the same time, because I'll be able to discuss the things and say, and I'll make a decision whether I want to go with Shadow as someone I want to shill for and promote, or a similar service. Because really I would like something like that in my repertoire of shillings. Thanks, Ed. If there's any others that's worth looking at, tell me. So it's cloud-based gaming services, basically, that allow you to have a good amount of freedom in the way you use their services, but they need to be for gaming. Do you think the Carrack will be able to access or use its cargo modules in space? I'm just wondering the best ship to pair the Orion with in deep space missions. I don't know. that's it. I mean, it looks like those modular pods will be removed in some way, so maybe. Have you ever escaped from prison? Yes. We can probably do it as a live stream thing as well. Some gameplay stuff. What else have we got? How much if we get a Xi'an cargo ship? How much do you think it will be? Between $150 and $250, and it depends on its size and a few other things. Will playing as a Xi'an, Banu, or Tavaran be possible in the future? They said basically after release that they'll probably be implementing something like that, but it's going to be a good while out. Yeah, Patrick, I'll pick your brain about mocap properly at some point as well, if that's cool. I'm seeing you actually have a little knowledge in that, and that's how I develop my knowledge base, by talking to people that are more expert. What type of gunplay do you prefer? Fast shooties or big booms? Depends on what game I'm playing. It depends on what type of character it is, and it depends on the mechanics of the game. I change. What is your favourite ship and or most expected one? Mercury Star is my favourite at the moment. And I think I'm probably looking forward to the Javelin quite a bit at the moment, because I've got a Javelin and it was big. Can the Ivocati reject this stupid addition to the game, like hover mode, before we have to bear it? So they will take Ivocati feedback, and if enough people hate it or it doesn't work, or there's a lot of like dissent about it, then that will have the feature changed typically. Have they mentioned if ships will be able to knock over trees? They have not talked about damage to trees. Give me your missile cam secrets. What? How's your diet going? I cheated on my diet a lot over the last week and a half. So not well, but I'm back on the diet horse. Neck's pretty bad now. What ship concept do you want to see for Alien Week? I don't know, but I suspect we'll see Xi'an cargo ship. Not sure. Well, I mean, any alien corvette would be cool. Do you think people? How do you think people will react to no explosions with the new damage system and time to kill? It's meant to be very difficult to actually make a ship explode. Yeah, I agree. It would be lots of disabling ships and blowing parts of them up. And destroying components, so I think that's going to be cool. I love the idea of ships being adrift. Obviously, the larger capital ships, when something goes critical, they might explode apart or explode. But it's not always going to be like that. Do you think we will see a rework of the Caterpillar with modularity? Well, we'll certainly see some updates to it so that it can get modularity. And in 3.15, we're supposed to be getting Retaliator modularity, and I would expect it to go out to Caterpillar and some other ships relatively soon afterwards, within a patch or two. I played this a lot last year. Do you think it's worth coming back to? Come back to it when 3.14 goes live. I'll give it a try, even if it's just as a tourist. I'm great. How are you, mate? I'm alright, Sarge. Got a bit of a bad neck. Bit tired. I'm going to stop the stream relatively soon. Go have a nap. Get this Squadron 42 video I'm ready to release. And then go have a nap. Sin's working on some lore videos. Question: do you think salvage will actually be a viable gameplay loop? If so, how? Scrap isn't worth the time. Well, it's going to be different valuable materials. Different types of material. Different type of components and things. So yes, it will be viable as a gameplay loop, because it will be balanced as such. And sometimes it will be more viable than others because of the dynamic dynamic economy system, dynamic universe. How do you think that's right, we talked about that. Question: when will you show us a fleet view of your fleet? We'll talk about it at some point. I'll do a hangar tour thing. I'll do it with Zin as well. Do a hangar tour with Zin, and she'll be like, I didn't even know I had this. That will be a lot of her stuff. When will we see Tron motorcycles? Well, I mean, is the Ranger a bit Tron? No, it's not. It's the closest we've got to a Tron motorcycle, though. A light bike, as you would. What is your opinion about the Star Citizen grey market? Risky business? It's risky in the fact that it's not supported by CIG. Obviously makes lots of people lots of money. Just go in knowing as much as you can before doing any trades. Do you think we'll see the infinite firebug missiles from the Nova tank make their way over to ships? Or the energy missiles, effectively. I think we'll see it in the form of rocket pods, energy rockets, maybe. Star Citizen is not currently free to play. It goes through some. It has like some free to play events, though. Anything more? Cool. What else have we got? Do you know if we'll be able to upgrade our ships to bigger ones in game? If the game is ready to keep the lifetime insurance. So you can upgrade your ship to another ship, and you keep the base package, so you'll keep the lifetime insurance and like your game package and stuff with that, as long as you're upgrading it. Yeah. You may be able to rip ship components from ships as scrap, I guess. Good money. Yeah, indeed. Lots of different types of salvage. There's hull stripping. So stripping the valuable materials of the top of a hull. More salvage, so literally blowing parts of the hull apart and crushing it into metally cubes. There's siphoning, so gases, liquids, siphoning. And then there's also the removal of components. When do you think Alien Week will begin? Friday! So starting Friday. Although you could argue it starts on Thursday with Inside Star Citizen and that sort of stuff. I see. So once you're in game with a lifetime insurance ship, how will I be able to somehow upgrade a ship to have lifetime insurance? Now you'd have to sell the ship and buy another ship, but you would be able to potentially buy another ship with lifetime insurance from another player with in-game money. Yeah, because the lifetime insurance will follow the hull of the ship. Yeah, I'm hoping that Alien Week's got some cool event to it. Where is the Santok? When is it? I don't know. Maybe we'll get some updates during Fleet Week. I say Fleet Week, I mean Alien Week. No hot tub streams for you. Let's get Sharpie. When do we get a bored hot tub screen? I'll make a lovely background. Don't you worry. You're a monster. I do not do meta on this channel. Any chance in support offering a CCU to a Cat Pirate Edition from a Cat Standard without lifetime insurance? Oh, so they used to have, you could have $0 CCUs, but they got rid of them. So, because people were hugely hoarding them. It was clogging databases up. Will the alien ships be free to fly during Alien Week? Maybe. Don't think so, but maybe. Buggers was interior designer. What? Do you think Alien Week will delay things more with dev times used for what's planned? Maybe that's why 3.14 got culled. I don't think so. I don't think Alien Week's going to be that major. I think it's some cool lore stuff, lots of the narrative and lore team doing things, a couple of competitions, some sort of themed things for Inside Star Citizen and the live shows. So I don't think it's much development time, and potentially that Xi'an cargo ship. So far as all the architecture for stations and homesteads appear human in nature, do they plan to create alien architecture for stations and homesteads? Yes. There will be, obviously, alien type stuff in alien systems. Right. Anything else that I can quickly answer? So, yeah, Alien Week is starting on Friday. I'm expecting a Xi'an cargo ship to go on sale Thursday or Friday. There's not a confirmation that we are getting a Xi'an cargo ship going on the concept. But I'm expecting it. I expect again at least some alien ships to be on sale, if not loads of alien ships to be on sale during Fleet Week. A couple of competitions are going out. You'll have some themed Inside Star Citizens and live events. We'll be talking about the different alien races in the game and the homeworlds and things like that. Alien Week is only a ship sale, no free fly. But it's possible that they'll say that anyone that's got the game can try these ships during Alien Week. Yeah, that's possible. When do you think ship-to-ship docking via docking collars will happen? Not for quite a while. End of next year at the earliest, sort of thing. It's much more complex than ship station and the parasite docking that we have. Although, if it's a priority, they could have it sooner. But this is true of everything, I suppose. Tell you what I reckon timeline-wise, and when it's not on the roadmap. They were talking about remodeling some of the alien ships. Have they started working on that? Yeah, so for the Scythe and the Glaive, they've obviously got those updated models for Squadron. They haven't updated it for the Persistent Universe yet. We're not sure why. I'm expecting to see it in the near future for a bit of a Vandal Swarm update. Do you think 3.14 will have another recruitment bonus like previous patches? Probably. They like to have like a little minor ship or vehicle that you can get as recruitment, don't they? How are the lore videos doing? I enjoy them. I'm glad you enjoy them, Sketch Therapy. Thank you. I'll tell Zin that. She'll be happy. She's working on a couple now. Alien-based things, because I was like, Alien Week's coming up soon. Do some Xi'an stuff. Probably have a Xi'an cargo ship. Do some Xi'an stuff. And some other alien stuff. So she's working on stuff like that. She's researching it. You never answered my question. Willem Halgas. I'm sorry, you even gave me you became BoredGamer member and all that stuff. William, ask your question again. William, ask it again. I'll try and answer it. What is that corridor of floating balls in the Vandal footage behind you? It's just them doing materials and looking at different materials that they can make ships and alien ships out of. And this is the example of the updated Vandal ships compared to the old ones. So the Scythe and Glaive, which we are hoping appear in Vandal Swarm shortly. When do you think they will allow combat in cities? Well, it looks to me like they're going to be removing all green zones. Well, they'll be removing FPS green zones pretty soon. And then they'll start to remove green zones in all areas, but have effective security and countermeasures and laws, more harsher laws. William Halgas, ask a question and answer it. If it goes in the next couple of minutes, I will answer your question, sir. If you want to ask it again. When will we be able to sell our gear that we currently own or find in the verse like armor and loot? They are working on a loot system and they are working on selling. They talked about that a few weeks ago. So that's actually going to be something in the not too distant future, so short mid-term. Obviously, I would expect this to almost be part of the local inventory system, because obviously you're going to need to loot stuff, you're going to need to be able to move things around, and you're going to need to be able to sell that. So expect that actually pretty soon. Well, at least I'm expecting that pretty soon. With time to kill going up, will we be able to survive crashing on a planet or moon? Maybe, yes. Because you won't explode when you hit the ground and it won't insta-kill you. So you might take heavy damage. You might be able to survive. They did say they wanted ways of surviving you ejecting or going down in atmosphere. Maybe that is staying in your ship and you have a chance to survive. I cashed out during Invictus Fleet Week on the grey market over $3,000. Not to have $58 credits and no more game package. I give up. What? Now have $58. Now have $58 still credit. You spent a lot on the game. Have you ever done a prison escape? I did answer this. You must have missed it. And is it something someone should try? Yes. So I've tried both types of prison escape, so the original prison escape and the slightly more updated one now. And you can have someone assist you from the outside coming to pick you up, or you can escape with a vehicle and go to an outpost. But then really you need to then go and get a hacking tool and hack down your criminal rating as well. So it is something you should try at some point for sure, because it is big gameplay. And you should also try legitimately get out of prison by doing, and it is actually just easier at the moment, doing missions in prison, which is mainly just getting minables and fixing oxygen machines, which is the easiest thing to do, and you get out pretty quick. So it's something you should try. It is good gameplay. Minzin relatively enjoyed Prison Escape. It was frustrating the first time we did it because we didn't know the route and the jumps tell. Got any missile cam secrets? Reddit posts are awfully vague. I can get Zin to look at and talk about something at some point. I don't have much in the way of secrets. I talk to people like Haskaha and Terada and stuff like that. And potentially even morphologists, they're masters of the camera. Yeah, I mean, I'd like grab shoot or parachute or jet chairs or something to survive ejecting in atmosphere. We'll have something in the future, even if it is just stay in your ship and you'll crash and you might survive. What are green zones? So at the moment, up until recently, zones around stations and landing zones, you couldn't fire your ship weapons around. But now space stations, you actually fire your weapons around, but obviously there's quite restrictive laws there to prevent you from attacking people, but you can now defend yourself more freely. So green zones still exist within FPS zones at stations and on landing zones, but eventually you are going to be able to draw your FPS weapon and fire, things like that. No worries. With the new capacitor gameplay, capacitors a new ship component we can buy and upgrade to different spec ones. I don't actually know. I'm not sure if the capacitors are a separate entity, separate component, or a subcomponent of the individual items, or both. So it's not entirely clear yet. Can you escape alone? Yes, you can escape alone. Although I'm not sure how viable it is to hack down your criminal rating alone. Concerning green zones and FPS right now, basically Gov is controlling our weapons remotely by disabling them in certain zones. Could that not be part of hacking gameplay to enable them in the zones? We could certainly be able to smuggle them in, and like bounty hunters will be able to take non-lethal weapons in certain zones as like a privilege. So it'll be whatever sort of gameplay they want to promote, either smuggling or hacking weapons to turn back on or something. You think there should be ways to legally get out of prison faster? Current missions seem tedious. Need to forcibly spend 15 minutes to remove. It depends on what you want the prison system to accomplish, yeah. So, and in what ways it sort of is prohibitive to players. Prisons need more gameplay for sure, and more missions within them. There needs to be ways of legally getting out. There needs to be ways of escaping. Do you think the Aslan helm is bugged or intended oxygen? Oh, it's bugged at the moment. Yeah, how you get out of the planet if you escape alone. Can you still spawn ships and outpost after you've got the Urzo? Can you not? Yeah, so it might not be viable to actually go and hack down your criminal rating. What do you think we'll get with the first version of Horizon compared to V2? So it's probably just going to be some of the parts of 3 platforms: the spaceport, the habitation, and the industrial platform. Habitation, commercial, and only a little bit of the industrial platform, I'd expect, if indeed at all. And then they're going to expand out to have the hospital and more shops and lots of stuff. And the outreach security office that Gibson Batista will be at. Is all the ships going to have new capacity gameplay? I believe so. Do they plan on religious factions? Well, you can create, probably. You can create orcs as well with that sort of theme in mind. Right. I'm going to go dash off. I'm going to find someone else to leave you with. A Twitch streamer to recommend you with. I think Sin is still... She's still working. She popped in here briefly to say hello in chat. But doesn't come on comms. She hates me. I'm going to give Maya some love. Leave you with Maya. He is a fantastic streamer. And I love the boy's face. Thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you very much for asking questions. It is how the content here is formed. It also allows me to work out what people are talking about and make content on that, or at least push towards that sort of content. And thank you very much for the people that donated and that became BoredGamer members and that subscribed and that Twitch subbed and all that sort of jazz. It is genuinely really, really helpful to the channel. I love you guys loads. I love Star Citizen, love the community. You are part of that community, part of my community, and you are top tier. You're in the top 161,000 people in my life. So thanks. Thanks, guys. Love you loads. I'm going to have a nap and then get the Squadron 42 video out, which Sin's probably finished. I know she has finished. I've uploaded it already. I just haven't made it go live. Love you guys.